Yeah, I think you know you've found something you love when the effort it takes just feels second nature. And I think you, at least for me personally, I think that happens pretty quickly, or you're able to recognize that pretty quickly. And that's something that I find really interesting about your writing when it comes to endurance. You use phrases like sense of effort, perception of effort, perceived exertion, rather than simply just saying effort or exertion. Why is it important to understand effort with that interpretive type of language?
Yeah, I mean, I think the key thing there, or the key thing that I'm trying to highlight, is that it's not set in stone. That it is a subjective uh, perception. Because if you accept that effort is just it's just a thing, it's an objective fact, which is, I think, what my mindset would have been throughout my competitive career, because I had never thought about this stuff. That if in the third lap of a mile it feels like it feels this hard, that's just how hard the third lap of a mile feels. Whereas when you start thinking about, the subjective perception of how hard it feels, you realize, oh, it was feeling really hard, but maybe that's in part because I was expecting it to feel hard, or because I was scared or whatever. And that there are that there's no like there is no effort meter that you can clamp onto someone's brain and say, well, yeah, that's how hard you were feeling. And effort and pain are two different things, but pain is there's a similar conversation to be had about pain, where it's like, I can, if I can apply a burn to your skin and I can tell you how hot the metal is or whatever, like that was 100 degrees and that was 200 degrees, but you can't measure how it feels. And different people, pain is a fundamentally subjective sensation, and effort is too. And so, um, it's a subtle point, but I think it's like, I think it's kind of the central one. I think what you're picking up on there is probably the most important realization that I had in sort of trying to understand the science of endurance.
Another interesting point about perception, and it goes to your personal makeup as a person, which is that you're colorblind. I'm curious to know how that has played into your life with endurance, just with like the perception and sight. Would be curious to know what your thoughts are there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I mean, fortunately, it hasn't meant that I've gotten run over while running through a red light by accident on a run. Yeah, no, it's so. I, yeah, I haven't really thought about the parallels, but um, when you grow up colorblind, you definitely understand that perception is subjective. That what what I see is not what everyone else sees. Uh, it can be a pain in the neck when you're dealing with, even just like reading scientific papers. It's like, okay, here's a graph with the lines are six different
Mm.
colors. I have no freaking idea which which line is which, and so if you don't give me dashes and dots or whatever, I can't read the graph. And similar with displays on computers and stuff like that. So that's a minor frustration, but I think on a deeper level, there is an understanding that and even leaving aside colorblindness, I read an article recently. I can't remember where it was, that was talking about color perception, and talking about there was a new study that where they're picking up they're doing brain scans of people looking at different colors and starting to pick up signatures of uh, what goes on in the brain when you perceive red versus blue versus yellow, and making the point that it's like, okay, on a given person, we can repeatedly then say, we can do a brain scan and then we can tell that person's looking at red right now. But you can't judge it from person to person because the brain signatures are different. And going, which gets to this deeper point that we actually don't know for sure that what I see as red is what you see as red, or that we experience the same visual sensation, even leaving aside that I'm colorblind, where we know that I'm not seeing the same stuff as everyone else. But even within people who are not defective like me, um, that perception is subjective, and that's a, like you said, that's the goes back to this. You understand that's true about colors. You understand it's true about a lot of other things, like effort and pain.